And it's live on tonight's live stream. It's Marsh Makes Comics from DonkeyJawProjects.com, and we're here live. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday night, Tuesday in the PM here on the East Coast, and it looks very dark. Looks very dark here in this little live stream. Let me see if I can play with the camera a bit. I'm still kind of getting over the old cold a little bit. But I'm feeling a lot better for the most part, so that's good. There we go. There's some brightness. It looks darker on camera than it actually is. And should we mess with the focus or the zoom? No, we don't want to mess with the zoom. Maybe the focus. I don't like autofocus. Let's see. Let's put something here it can focus on. Do. Hope everybody's having a great night, having a great week. That looks like focusing. I'm here on time for once. I mean, I don't know what my time is right now because I'm trying to kind of figure out what I'm doing, I guess, with the old making videos thing. A little bit trying to figure out what I'm doing. And I'm kind of setting up this other little camera. Maybe I'll record some video on the phone as well. We'll see. But we'll get it set up just in case I feel like being saucy and recording two things at once. I don't know how good it'll be, but you know. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, having a wonderful week. I have the week off, luckily. Gary Hodges says, afternoon, brother. Afternoon, sir. Glad to see you here. Yeah, it's I guess it's afternoon. It feels like evening though. Daylight savings hasn't started yet, so it's dark now. It's 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah. And we're just gonna draw a little bit. There's not really much to show, to be honest. So I've been taking it easy, to be honest. I haven't been super focused. I mean, on projects. I've been working on this. The Glyph comic. So this is the Glyph sketchbook, and I've been just doing some writing and stuff, and just working out ideas and whatnot. Daydreaming, thinking, conjuring up possible scenarios of how Glyph could be awesome. And yeah, let's see. Sideburns, good morning. Looking to get back into smaller videos. What would be interesting in your opinion? Man, I'm trying to figure that out myself, to be honest. I mean, it's hard to say, man. It's a good question, really. What kind of videos would you guys be interested in from me? I guess Sideburns, like, what have you not done? You've done a lot of videos, right? I mean, it's always good to document your process. I think that's makes sense. And your progress, all that stuff. So, one thing that is like kind of, I think, interesting. I think that obviously you want your like you're making comics. That's that I think, as far as I know, that's kind of your main thing, is you're making comics. And so, but the thing is it seems to me like those people, the people who do the best on YouTube as comics channels, or comics channels, I guess, often don't actually like talking about comics isn't their main thing they do, which seems counterintuitive. And I'm not saying you should do this, but I think there's nothing wrong with expanding upon, some of your interests. So if there's something in your comic that's related to uh, certain interests, specific interests, then it's not the worst thing in the world to kind of have videos about those specific interests. Um, and I mean, look at Gary Hodges and Jim Lujan. Since Gary's here, they're doing the top five videos about all kinds of different things. I mean, and is that a template for success? I don't know. If we're talking about success, I don't know the answer to that. I keep trying to think I know the answer to it, but or figure it out. But if I'd say just kind of think about some of your interests and see what kind of stuff you can come up with surrounding that. Um, I think you're into like anime and stuff. Maybe get into that a little bit more. Um, yeah, I don't know. So that's a thought. It's an idea. So when you guys are looking at a blank page, when it's time to like create and be like, all right, I gotta write this story, I gotta draw this, or just draw something. You just want to draw something. Get the juices flowing. What do you do? You know, how do you figure out the next thing to draw? I mean, obviously, right now, a lot of people are doing Inktober. I'm sure many of us, well, I guess I'll lump myself in. I'm sure many of us have fallen off the wagon with it, but some of us are staying pretty consistent. I think, Dan, you're one of those people. Um, if Dede happens to pop in, I know she's, as far as I could tell, she's staying pretty consistent. And it seems like she's got some really cool like things going on with Inktober. So that's neat. Um, I wasn't really saying I was gonna do it, so yeah, I've been kind of inconsistent with it, but I also wasn't really super definitely gonna be doing it. So uh, but we could say I fell off. Why not? But what do you do, to come up with an idea to, for your next comic? I mean, I have thoughts, you know, there's definitely things that I do, but man, even though I've learned a lot of little techniques and stuff, um, I still struggle, I still struggle with it. I've been watching a lot of TikToks lately and just like sometimes trying to do some TikToks myself because I like TikTok. I think it's a worthwhile platform. I've seen some of my artist friends do better on TikTok than any other platform. Um, and I've done okay sometimes. There's been times I've had some pretty good ones, but I also just like the format. I don't always like it, but I like it a lot of times. Um, and so I've been kind of messing around with that a bit. Not really doing a ton of TikToks. I did like 3 the other night, but then it went for like a week before I did another ones, and, you know, I've been trying to do it, but not being consistent. But I see, the reason I bring it up is because, like, there's this one guy, his name is he goes by, like, Severe. I think it's probably comes from the graffiti world or something, and he makes, like, just cool, like, funky, like, silly drawings every day, and he just like never stops. It's almost like he's like one of these people who just never stops drawing. And man, I wish I was like that. I really do, because I love drawing, and I feel like I could see myself being like that, but for whatever reason I don't do that. I have to like force myself to draw more often than not. And I just wish it was more consistent. I wish all the things I did was more consistent. The YouTube videos, the making the comics. I think I maybe have to get back onto this whole um make comics, 100 days of making comics type of vibe or something, because I just can't seem to. I mean, I kind of already am. I'm just didn't officially do it or anything. That's my goal, is to basically work on glyph for at least a half an hour every day. And I haven't been doing it like as consistently as I want. But it is what it is. My life just seems to constantly be going through changes. So, you know, I guess I've struggled, but I don't like making excuses. I like making comics, not excuses, as Frank would say. Um, so, you know, but I do enjoy drawing, and for me, like right now, I'm like starting by, you know, using some photo reference. This like old Snoop Dogg image. It's not looking like Snoop Dogg at all. But I'm not really. I don't know if I care that much about making a likeness right now with this drawing. And plus, it's a weird drawing of image of Snoop Dogg, because it's like him before he like became Snoop Dogg. So it's like he doesn't have his typical look. He's just like a normal dude with a hat on type of look. So if you ever saw his first video with Dr. Dre, he's got that kind of look to him. So um so but I guess more I'm just kind of looking at the shading of the face and the planes of the face and stuff, and just that's what I'm start so that's how I'm kind of starting dealing with this first little drawing. But yeah, like I said, I watched this guy Severe, and I really get inspired by him, and he does like these little like characters, and they're just like, you could tell it's like a lot of it's stream of consciousness, and he's just like just having fun being goofy and funky on the page, and I'm like I can do that kind of artwork where it's just goofy, I think, but I kind of struggle, and not like when I do it, I'm like, I'm kind of seeing like I'm starting to draw like him if I want to try to do it, because it's like, well, that's the last thing I saw. So, I'll start drawing characters like his, and I'm like, well, I don't want to draw his characters. I want to draw my own goofy characters and stuff. So, yeah, no, it just, you get into these funny like ways of thinking when you're trying to draw stuff. And to me it's almost like like sometimes I see the stuff that people do on these like TikToks and stuff, and I'm like, these are just like warm up drawings. These are just kind of for fun drawings. But the minute I start thinking of like, let's turn this into like a little video, you know, I kind of lose. I have a hard time. I get like a creator, like a stage fright, I guess, type of thing. So I guess that's why kind of drawing from life. A lot of times I default to drawing from like a picture or whatever, because it's just easy to just sit there and practice by looking at something and drawing it. And I enjoy it. It's meditative, you know. Like I could do this all day long. And I think it's a good way to start anyways, like start with this and then maybe like draw it again or something, which I hate drawing something more than once, but I gotta get myself to start doing that more because I think it's a good practice. Um, but not only that, take this thing that you're like drawing and then like iterate on it, like turn it into something goofy or turn it into something uh, that's just more imaginative and stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is just drawing from imagination. Like I don't know, I feel like all I used to do when I first started drawing was drawing from imagination for the most part. I didn't do as much like representational drawing from life stuff, because that's all I really wanted to do. But you kind of come up with the typical like uh cliche stuff a lot of times. Like sometimes, how people do this whole thing where they'll scribble something, or they'll just put like some ink on a page and then draw something from that. Well, to me that always turns into like a face or something, and I don't always want to draw just a face. So I don't know. So this is just a little drawing of sort of Snoop Dogg, but it doesn't look like him at all. Um, so, you know, mostly just to get the juices flowing. Um, I can already see ways I can do it over and improve, and then like try to do like a character, like a caricature, or something. Exaggerate certain features, all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Gary says, I don't know if it helps either, but I do believe if people feel like they know you and have a sort of relationship with you, they're more likely to support your work. Oh yeah, I agree. I think it does. That's why I think the power of video is pretty amazing. A lot of marketers will say, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. And one of the best ways to do that with social media is by doing video, especially, YouTube, and getting your face on camera, getting your voice on camera, um, and just being authentically you. And I think, as long as you're a relatively likable person and you're not like weird or something, I don't know, like most people are, do pretty well. I don't think it doesn't take much, you know, to start to gain a following, just by kind of chatting and, a little bit of a following. And then, you do a couple things, and maybe you see something's working a little bit more than other things, and it's still part of your personality, but you just maybe lean into some aspects a little bit more. And if you see something working, you just lean into it. So then you're you, but then you might amplify certain parts that seem a little bit more appealing. Not to the point where you're being fake, but to the point where you're just being like you're leaning into a little bit more of the stuff that makes you you. And Dan, you got, you know, I from day one I remember watching your videos from when you just first started, and I was impressed by, your videos. So, go back to the stuff you enjoyed doing and do more of it. And I don't know, I think that would work. Gary says, but Jim and I just love to talk, and honestly, even if we don't broadcast the top 5 talks, we'd still have them. Yeah. And that's sometimes the best stuff, and so maybe that's something you could try, Dan, is maybe have somebody on with you and maybe start to build a rapport with somebody um, who you have a good chemistry with, and that's the key too, is the chemistry. Like, it doesn't work with everybody necessarily, and it doesn't mean that that person is crappy on video or anything, or that you're crappy. It just there's it's you can have certain chemistry. Like, I have friends who I talk to, and we're good friends and stuff, but then if we were to get on camera, it might be awkward. So it's also like chemistry in that particular format and stuff too. So there's a lot of different things that could, you know make a difference. But I feel like, yeah, if you already have conversations with somebody and it's enjoyable, like, if you're able to somehow bring that to camera or to the videos, you might actually latch on to something pretty awesome. Sideburn says, good ideas. Yeah, man, whatever it can do, hopefully it helps. Yesterday was tough, but I seem to be doing well. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, you got to just keep doing it, man, on the Inktober, right? Yeah, for sure. Peter says, I've been really enjoying Inktober. Yeah, you've been making some really cool Inktobers. I've been watching them. Really dope, man. I'm always inspired by what you do, man. But yeah, your Inktobers have been great. Farmer Fox, what's up? Yippee, I got here early this time. Yeah, man, and I started a little later, I think, than I usually do. I don't know. I forget what time I was starting before, but I went with 6:30 today. That seemed like a reasonable time to start. And I actually started on time for once, which is pretty crazy and pretty cool and fun. So, thanks for being here, Farmer Fox. And Chris, thank you for coming by. Hello, Marsh and everyone here. Just getting here from the university. All right, sounds good. We got Dan here. I'd like to have Jake on, but he has no social media. Oh yeah, Jake. He's cool, man. I've had him on my show a couple times, I think, but it's been a while, obviously a long time. So yeah, it's just ideas, you could kind of see what makes sense for you. So, yeah, it's just interesting, like, this face. Like, I'm trying to see if I could do a little caricature. It's hard for me to not go kind of realistic, because I have the habit of, when I'm drawing from a picture, um, to just try. I just start getting into the details, and I can't help it. And I start getting into more of the realism almost by accident. But let's see if I can try to caricature this a little bit. It's tough too, because his face is like in shadow, and He's got like the squinty eyes. I wonder why. um, and then he's kind of got a little bit of a long face, Snoop Dogg. And even though he seems like he's got pretty like decent like size lips, I guess, I want to make him a little bit less because I feel like the idea of him is not such like big lips. I don't know. I'm not gonna do a good job most likely, but I noticed that he's got one of those like high cheekbone things going on. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it look like Snoop, especially from this picture, but you know, it's worth giving it a shot. And then I feel like, yeah, he's got like this kind of like this long like um what do you call it, like eyelid or whatever area, like it's always seems shiny. So, and he's just got these squinty eyes going, he's looking down at you. But I didn't put the people really in the right place to do that. Not that it's not that you can really see the people very well, but so yeah, I don't know. It's tough too drawing with you know, like a ballpoint pen because it's like a pencil and it's so sketchy like that it's hard not to like get detailed. So um but if the point isn't to actually make it look like Snoop, it's still I can still kind of get to like a cartoon version almost of a character. And in some ways it's almost better like if you're trying to draw from imagination and that's like your goal, it's like better to you know, if you're not doing good at getting a likeness, you know, cuz you're trying to draw your own thing anyways, so um so even though I'm putting these like shading type of things, I just want it to be like stark. I don't want it really to be super detailed, just like a shape or something, you know. So we'll make the top lip just dark instead of like put in all the little shading detail. And then there's this other shape here. Just kind of do my best to focus on the shapes. And the blacks and the whites. So I guess it probably would be good to maybe ink this or something so that it looks less sketchy. And just make these little squiggly things for the hair so it's not like super detailed. So that at least looks kind of maybe not like Snoop super much, but like it does kind of have a little bit more of the vibe than the first one. So let's try to ink it a little bit since it's Inktober. You know, it's kind of funny, even though I haven't done a lot of Inktobers like that were meant to be Inktobers, I've still, you know, because I kind of draw with ink anyways. So when I have done art, you know, it's ink anyways. So I've actually probably technically done more than than uh than I'm kind of saying. So I've been trying to work on glyph, and I'll get back to the chat here in a minute too. But you know, I've been trying to work out that story, and it's certainly been interesting. Um, it's kind of weird because like I'm just taking such a different route, you know, with it. Um, and so I am getting into a little bit of ruts, like I seem to always do with glyph, but it's doing all right for the most part. Um, I got into like this rut where I was like thinking about like how is his powers going to work and stuff like that. And I think that's a rut that's not good to get into, is like world building stuff or like the powers. And that actually I'm gonna just ignore that part of things um, for now, because the powers aren't what's really important when it comes to the story. Um, what's important is like the main themes, like the like I don't know, like the relationships, I guess. I think in any story it is, you know. Um, if you think like about Spider-Man and stuff, the important part isn't really his powers in the world he's in necessarily. The important part is oh, I got phone calls, but I can't take phone calls right now. Um, it's like Spider-Man is like, let's see. You know, it's kind of about being an awkward kid, and it's about doing the right thing when it's inconvenient, you know, when you have the power to do something, because it's not just because he has spider power, like powers, that he should have done the right thing in this situation. Like, if he could have done something to stop that thief, he should have done it, whether, you know, whether it was convenient for him, but he was looking for, you know, something else at the time, and it wasn't part of his plan. And that's something we all have to, like, I've come up against that at times. I've, you know, had things not be so convenient for me, but it was the right thing to do, or the wrong, you know. And that is really what the story is. um the superpowers and stuff like that, that's just like kind of the spice of it. That's like the fun, like it's like when you know, you cook a steak, you want to make sure you cook it nice and well. And it, of course, it depends on what what you like, of course, with a steak, but just, I don't know, just whatever it is that you like to make. You start out with just cooking that thing the way you want it. Like with steak, to me, I like it kind of medium, maybe medium well, but I don't like it like too raw or anything. But I do like a little pink, and I just want it to be nice and tender and juicy. Um, and I personally do like seasoning on my steak. Not everybody likes seasoning on their steak, but even if the seasoning is just salt and pepper, I'm good with that too. Um, and but the thing is what's important is that you get that steak um, cooked right. Like if you don't cook the steak right and you don't cook it well, like the way you like it, then it just kind of ruins the whole steak. It doesn't matter what seasoning you put on it. But so you got to get that thing cooked right. And so, but if it's too dry or if it's too rare, it's gonna be not enjoyable. Uh, and if you put no seasoning on it, it's still kind of good even if you cook it right. Um, but then you go and put the seasoning on it, and that adds like that extraness, that really cool extra stuff. And and that's where like the superpower kind of stuff comes in. That's where the world building and stuff comes in. World building actually isn't all that important. Um, if you think about like one of the biggest, coolest worlds ever in world building, like for stories, is like, to me, in my opinion, is maybe something like Harry Potter, or I was thinking of like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Like that's a cool world. I mean, there's just so much world building in that. But when it comes down to it, what's really awesome about that story is the themes, what it's about. Um, so like, Aragorn's story, he doesn't want to be a leader, but he basically ends up being the king. And it's kind of because he doesn't want to be a leader and because he's afraid of what humanity will do when they get too much power, like that theme, that's what makes him more of a hero. And that's the thing that's interesting. What he does on the battlefield is also interesting, but it's just the spice of it. The fact that he's good at fighting, and that he's good at leading, that's interesting, but it's the spice of it. Frodo, and maybe it's not as, like, I don't know, like Gandalf is pretty cool, but the lessons you learn from Gandalf is the story, and that's what's important. And you take that away, and it's not really that interesting of a story. There's wizards and a million different stories. But the wisdom he has, the way his story helps drive forward the plot and the character development that he has, um, makes him an interesting character and makes him something you're interested in checking out. Um, he makes him an interesting aspect to the story. But again, it's the powers are just like the spice of it. Same thing with Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter's not even that he's not even necessarily that great of a wizard, you know. Um, there you can make an argument for Hermione, being a more interesting, powerful wizard than he is. Um, and pretty much everything that he does, like every victory he has, is more because of his friends or more because of the teamwork between him and his friends than him by himself, you know? He does seem to be pretty good at Quidditch, but like when you think of Harry Potter, you don't immediately think of Quidditch. That's just like a spice to the story. So again, like for Glyph, I've always said he's, a character whose art comes to life. And that's like this interesting thing about him. But really, I was having a hard time writing him. And it's not till now that he's starting to actually have a personality and be an interesting character. And it's not because of his powers. The powers I keep almost forgetting to include. But the minute I did start trying to think, okay, let me get into the powers, it started to cause me to have a hard time writing the story. So yeah, there's like a more caricature version of the same drawing, or the same reference. And it still doesn't look like Snoop Dogg, but it's a more interesting take, I think. And that definitely doesn't look like Snoop Dogg. This one starts to a little bit. And it's a little more cartoony and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of getting to something, I guess. All right, let's check out the chat. Let's see. Sideburn says, I'd like to have Jake. Oh, wait, I already saw that one. Seven's here. What's up, Seven? Greetings. Shalom. What's up? Let's see. A180's here. Thanks for coming by. Hey, everybody. How's it going? So let me ask you guys, like, what do you do outside of, sitting your butt in the chair and starting to draw? Like, what do you do to here, I think I got a cough. Let me mute real quick. All right. What do you do to get the juices flowing with your kind of an imagination when you see that blank page, Um, it can be really intimidating, whether you're writing a story or trying to come up with drawings from your imagination. And that's what I mean specifically, drawings from your imagination. Sometimes I get a little paralyzed. Sometimes I come to the uh, the sketchbook with an idea, and that's kind of cool. But then sometimes it doesn't work out. Devante, what's up? But let me know. I'm curious what you guys do when you want to draw something from your imagination, when you just want to have fun drawing something, but you don't know exactly what you want to draw when you first get in. What's up, Dede? Evening, guys. Yay, Marsh is drawing. Yeah, trying to. Still getting over my cold, so we'll see how long this lasts, because like talking is, for long periods of time isn't always easy. But I got my trusty seltzer waters, so that's nice. Always got to have that. Deist is here. What's up? Thanks for coming by. We got Paul Pate here. I think I caught your cold, Paul. I'm pretty much over it now, but let's see. This is the birth unit. That's my mom, guys. Say hi, everybody. Say hi to my mom. What's up, Mom? It is raining and cold here. My joints are achy. Ah, that sucks. Oh man, I feel for you, sir. I did do some work today. Like I said, I have the week off this week. So I not working, but I did work today. We did some work in the basement and stuff. We needed to do some cleaning up, and we're trying to get it situated down there and organized and stuff, and see if we can get it's not like a super great basement. It's just like it's like a kind of a dirt cellar type of thing. But we want it to be a little more functional, so we're working it out. It wasn't, we definitely got gross and dirty, and I was super happy to take a shower when we were done. And we still got a lot of work to do down there, and we want to try to keep the squirrels out because they find their ways into the cracks, and the mice and whatever else gets in there. They find their ways into the cracks and they destroy things and whatnot. So we're trying to figure out how to keep them out. And it's like this like rock basement, like like the walls are all rocks and stuff. It's just, it's an old house. It's like 100 years old. So, we're trying to figure out what we can do. We have some ideas we're going to try to work on tomorrow, some more probably. We'll see. But yeah, doing what we can. Let's see. A180. I usually watch movies or I get ideas from video games as well. There you go. I think that's great. I mean, ideas come from everywhere, so that's certainly a good place for it. Um, Paul says, I've been reading comics to get my story imagination going. Writing is the hardest part for me. As for drawing, I always draw people. Yeah, I tend to draw people too. Like I said, sometimes I try to do like those like ink blot things, or like just scribble on paper and then try to have something emerge from it. But it always ends up being, it's so easy for it to end up becoming like a face. Um, and I'm not saying that's bad thing, but like I just I think it bores me to always come up with a face. So I don't know. Sometimes I shy away from that, even though it's probably good. Um, it's good to also draw from comics, or, whatever thing you're into, like anime, like A180 was talking about, video games, like if there's like a way to get a screenshot of video games or something, or movies too. I think it's good to like like get scenes, like draw from scenes. So you draw like the perspective a little bit, and especially from movies, because they're intentional with what they do with those scenes and everything. So how things are framed, you can learn a lot, the lighting, all that stuff. um Mitographia, I do doodle on paper and then elaborate on it. There you go. And then that's the other thing, is like automatic drawing, but I always end up like, when I'm automatic drawing, I'll do like squigglies, and then I always end up doing like little circles or hash marks, and again, I get bored with my old tricks. So I think I've been struggling with drawing from imagination lately, unfortunately. Um, Men don't take baths. At least this one doesn't. It's too much like sitting in a tub of of ass soup. Oh my gosh, that's gross. I think Dede was saying something about taking a bath. um, every once in a great while, I'll take a bath, like so rarely, like once every 5 years, maybe. I don't know. I haven't taken a bath in a long time, but I don't mind it. It's just not something I'm drawn to doing. I don't know why. Um, yeah, I don't think I really take baths anymore too much. But if I felt the desire to, I would. I wouldn't, be like, I'm a man. I can't take no bath. Uh, take a shower, then sit in a hot tub to help the joints. Yeah. I mean, a hot tub, I think, is different. Like, hot tub is like, although I just get too hot in a hot tub. I don't like being like too hot. So, let's see. Farmer Fox, hey Paul, in Japan they shower before they bath. Same reason. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Like if you don't want to sit in ass juice. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got some jerkos here. I just blocked them. I don't know if anybody else did, but I did. For some reason, a hot tub is okay. That's a great idea. The only thing is, do you have a hot tub? Not everybody has access to that. I know I don't. I mean, maybe they have one at like a gym or something I could join. I don't know. Yeah, I killed the spam. So that's good. Japan keeps it clean. Cool. Yeah. Peter says, I try and think in terms of story, even for a one-off drawing. What's the story going on here? For a character, I might ask, what is this character's story? Man, like, I'd love to hear you elaborate on that a little bit, because to me, I want to do that as well. Because for some reason, drawing without story starts to bore me a lot of times, as much as I don't really want that to be the case, but a lot of times it does. And so, sorry, I'm fiddling with this camera here while I'm trying to talk to you guys. But yeah, I think I moved this camera while I was trying to move that camera. There we go, a little bit better. I got two cameras going on here, but one of them's not really doing anything. But it might do something eventually. So, excuse me. Sorry, I should have done that. But yeah, because Peter, you strike me as one of those people who gets stuff done quickly. Like you are so darn prolific. So thinking about story, and at the same time being so prolific, that's like, wow. Because to me, it takes time to think of story. Maybe I just have to come to terms with the fact that I'm kind of slow. Draw someone you know and then add stuff to it. Yeah, I mean that's kind of I think you're right. Like that's a good way to go about it. And then that's kind of what I'm doing with this one. That was the first drawing and this is like the second one and I'm going to probably try to draw him again and see like if I can make him more something fun that I'm interested in. Let's see. Report dating bots. Yeah, I don't know if I reported them, but I blocked them at least. Let's see. Often a story is just the action or background or the prop being carried. Little kids do this. Here's me, and I have a sword. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like that. That makes sense. Because, yeah, when you're a kid, you're just like, okay, I'm going to be the guy with the gun, and you're the guy with the sword, and this, or whatever it is, like that you're or I'm the, the typical old school, like, I'm the cowboy, you're the Indian type of thing, which I know is not very PC, but it's part of it's one of the most cliche, obvious, cultural things to take from. But are cops and robbers, which maybe that's not even good anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but though. But anyways, you know, um, just that whole idea, like you just take the stuff like you see, like if you're into Power Rangers when you're a kid or whatever, and you just kind of play fight type of thing. So I think you're right. Like a running character, is he chasing or running away? The story is on his face or the pose. Yeah, totally. A180. Hey Marsh, what's your favorite food of all time? My favorite food of all time. Well, it's changed, I guess, throughout. I used to say my favorite food was chicken cordon bleu. um, and which is weird. It's a weird food to be your favorite, especially when you're like a kid. Um, but sorry, I'm trying to draw. I'm gonna draw like a bit of a figure of the same character. So I'm gonna do what my mom actually said here in the chat, and I'm gonna kind of make him like add stuff. So but not like a lot. I'm just gonna start pretty basic. Um, but yeah, it used to be chicken cordon bleu, which is kind of weird, I think. And I guess it turned into Mexican like tacos. I freaking love tacos. And I guess that's like what I've stuck with. Um yeah, I like Mexican food a lot. You know, like at least the American version of Mexican. Chinese is pretty good too. The American version of Chinese. Um because I'm sure real Mexican, I know real Mexican doesn't taste exactly like that, and real Chinese, I'm sure isn't the same as what you would get at a place or whatever. But um, let's see. Do I want to? Maybe I'll actually use a pencil. What a concept. Actually, use a pencil. I mean, I just was using a pencil, but I want to use like a sharper one to get in some details. So yeah, I guess that's, my favorite. So now we're gonna try to push the the kind of caricatureness of this a little bit more, and also add like the figure a bit. And so I'm going to make him have kind of this triangle shape here, an overall triangle shape. And he's kind of slouching. Maybe I can push the hair a little bit to make it more, fun. And maybe I'll try to do like I don't know, let me see. Play with some of the placement of the things. Try to do a little bit more of a graffiti type of vibe with these funky eyes. A way to make characters look cool is to have their eyelids down. It's like the typical way to like make characters look cool and not like goofy. Kind of have them looking to the side here. It's hard to draw small though. I don't always draw too small. And then we could still get the shadows in, but we'll try to keep it a little bit more simple. I'll do my best to keep it simple. Do 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 do. So we got the face in there. Maybe we could give him a cane. Like he doesn't need a cane. He just has a cane because he's cool like that. He's a pimp, I guess. Don't pimps have canes? I don't know. Maybe there's a story to why he has a cane. Probably getting way too like stereotypical with this, but oh well. That's where it starts though sometimes, is that kind of a stereotypical vibe, and then you can, all right, let's cool it with that particular thing that's too stereotypical, and then move into something a little bit more interesting. So, and if you can draw quickly, then you don't feel like you're, which I'm not good at doing, then you don't feel like you're spending too much time. I'll give him a big belt buckle with an S on it, maybe. Snoop Dogg, even though this isn't necessarily Snoop Dogg, but hey, whatever. Maybe you can be like, come here, kid. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's up to no good. Maybe he's up to good. Maybe he's going to give the kid some wisdom. Look, kid, you don't want to be hanging out with them gangbangers. You got to come over here with me, make some music videos. We're going to make some dope music, yo. Don't be playing with them gangbangers. That's probably what Snoop would say nowadays. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of silly, but whatever. So, all right, what else? Before I get to inking, let's get into the chat a little bit here again. Do 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 do. What is your favorite food? Okay, so I answered that. You know what's fun in storytelling? Coming up with fake brands and naming fake places. Yeah, I do that a lot too, like that kind of thing. I like coming up with all kinds of fake stuff. Um, especially when writing, and it kind of comes on the fly. Like I do it on the fly a bit. Um, yeah, I dig that too. It's fun, but I'm no good at it. Sometimes I'm good at it. Sometimes I'm not. You know, it's hit or miss. Peter says like a story. Hold on, I gotta keep coughing here. You think you're over a cold, and then you try to do a live stream. Um, like a story can be just a sentence. True. If we had Snoop Dogg pointing or holding a mic or standing in front of a crowd, that's the story. Totally. Ah, yes, tacos. Tacos are great. Dede, is your mom here, Marsh? I came in late. Yeah. Yep. Love you too, Mom. That's her right there. Yeah, because remember, Dede, I said your daughter's name is the same as my mom's, but my mom spells it differently than your daughter. So, yeah. I love tacos too. When I was managing a help desk, we had favorite food as one of the unlock password secret question prompts, and 90% of the people that used that one said pizza. Really? Pizza's great. I love pizza. What's your favorite pizza? That's what I want to know. For me, it's going to be meat lovers because I'm just a meataholic. I like meat. Yes. Mom, meet Dede. Dede, meet mom. I'm sure you guys would get along if you were to talk. Let's see. Spinach. You must have strong muscles. Oh man. Well, I like spinach. I like raw spinach like as lettuce for a salad. I like that a lot actually. But I do not like cooked spinach at all. Actually, funny story. My mother when we were in the grocery store when I was a kid, um Popeye, of course. I was like thinking Popeye was awesome and I was young and and we were in the store one day. She's like, "What should I get?" Blah blah blah. And I saw, cans of spinach with Popeye on them. And I'm like, "Oh, I want spinach." She's like, "Are you sure? I don't think you're gonna like it." I'm like, "I want it. I want to try it." She's like, "Okay, we'll have spinach, but I don't know if you'll like it." I'm like, "Okay. Well, I want big muscles." I don't know. I don't know how it all went. I was young, but I was very young. This was like before nursery school, but I still remember it. Um, but anyways, and so she got it and she made it for me, and I hated it. She was right. Moms are always right. But I tried it at least, so that's good. Uh, but yeah, spinach. I like it raw. I do not like it cooked. Peter says your account will be secure forever. I'm not sure if I must be missing something. We all love Marsh here. Aw, thanks, Paul. Nice to meet Marsh's mom. Greetings from Mexico. Speaking about tacos. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, how sweet. This is true for all my years. uh, let's see. Peter says, if you are already imagining the dialogue of a drawing, I'd say you are on the right path. That's a good idea too, though. Like, what is the dialogue? Like, what? That's actually a really cool way to think of it too, I think. Let's see. Do you guys do anything that's like an exercise though of like when you're at a blank page and you're like not sure what to draw? Like, do you do like automatic drawing ever? Does anybody do anything like that? I'm just curious. Or even just doodling. That's the problem. Like, I feel like I just hate my doodles. Some people are really good at doodling, and there's some kind of difference between doodling and drawing, and I'm not always good at that for some reason. Didi says Pizza Hut double pepperoni and jalapeno peppers. Wow, interesting. It's funny because people don't like Pizza Hut or Domino's a lot of times. They're like, "Oh, it's fake" and stuff. I'm like, but I like it because it's got its own certain taste, and I'm not always in the mood for that taste. Sometimes I want what people would call better pizza, but sometimes I am in the mood for that taste and I want it. Unfortunately, Pizza Hut, I don't know about where in Atlanta, Dede, but Pizza Hut has gone like it's really hard to find Pizza Hut anymore. There are some in the state of Connecticut, but it's really hard. They've mostly gone out of business from what I see. But I remember when I was a kid going to Pizza Hut, like it was a whole vibe and everything, and they had the salad bar and everything, and it was good. What's up, Nathan? Hey, everyone, running late today. I feel you, man. I'm usually running late, but today I actually wasn't for once. Let's see. Pizza, Hawaiian pepperoni, and the only with only cheese. Yeah, Hawaiian is the one that like I usually take. I don't really like fruit on anything hot. Um, excuse me. Sorry. Let me. I don't tend to like fruit hot for some reason, but I'll eat Hawaiian pizza in a pinch. I do like the ham, and I'll take the pineapple off, but you still taste the pineapple taste. And I love pineapple. But if I love something, two things, putting them together doesn't necessarily make them good. Like my mom makes quiche sometimes, and when she makes quiche, she's a really amazing cook, my mom. But when she makes quiche, like she'll make like 10 quiche and they're in the freezer for, that's what we're eating for the next couple months. And it's not even that like we eat it too much. It's weird because I love eggs. I love scrambled eggs. I love a lot of the things that can be put in a quiche, but I do not like quiche at all. It's the same thing with omelets too. I might like everything that you can put in an omelet, but I do not like omelets. I don't know what it is. And so pineapples, I love pineapples. I love ham pizza, but put them together and it's not my bag, yo. I don't know why. Tacos, excuse me. Sorry, I'm not doing good with the mute. Pastor tacos. I don't know what that means. Beef and pork tacos. Birria tacos. Pastor tacos are kind of similar to kebabs. That sounds awesome. I I've never made tacos with like I don't know. That sounds interesting. Um, but I just like beef mostly. But I'll have different kind of tacos. Usually, if I go to Mexican though, like we have what's the chain out here? I don't know if you guys all have it, but obviously there's Taco Bell, which is a whole different world, but I like that too sometimes. Um, but there's On the Border. I love On the Border. I like their salsa a lot. I like their chips a lot. That come with the salsa. And then I usually get their fajitas and I'll get the chicken and the steak. Even though I love tacos, I'll get the fajitas. And one thing they don't always bring out cheese, which is annoying, but I like cheese with it too. Didi says I draw animals when I get stuck. Okay. That's a cool way to go too. Animals are like they're it's like every animal you have to learn how to draw differently, and so it's like humans, at least you're drawing them more often than not. Like if you draw one kind of animal, it's different maybe, but I don't know. I'm not as good at drawing animals, but I'll draw them once in a while. I just feel like I used to draw though, like just out of my imagination so much more, and I struggle with it more. I think the more I learn how to draw, the more I struggle with drawing from my imagination, which is kind of silly. Um, Mexicans create their pizza with different toppings. Some you would believe they exist, or you wouldn't believe maybe. We had one close, Marsh. We had to drive further. Oh, okay. So you used to have a Pizza Hut close, but now you have to drive further maybe. I do drawing exercises sometimes to get unstuck. Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to go for sure. Um, Sometimes I have a hard time with exercise. I get these weird blocks in my brain where I'm like, maybe that's too boring, and then I don't do it, which is stupid. Because usually if I actually sit down and do the thing, it isn't so boring. We have a lot on Long Island of Pizza Huts. What's up, Nirg Corp? What's up? Adolfo, greetings all. And yes, chorizo pizza. I don't know what that is, but sounds interesting. Draw Pizza Man using pepperoni as a weapon. There you go. That's one thing I could do. Let's see. Yes, CK is in Mexico with real Mexican food, even Mexican pizza. What's up, Adam? How you doing, sir? Checking in for a little bit. What's up, the other comic guy? Thanks for coming by. Tacos al Barria are really popular here, Chris. I had never had them before this year. Burrito tacos are with soft tortillas. Imagine pulled pork, but instead of pork, it's veal. Ooh, I don't know about veal. I think I had veal before and it was really good, but just the idea of what veal is bothers me. Sorry, but it just does. I don't get offended by anything, so don't think that. But maybe I don't know what veal is too. Or wait, veal is. If I know what it is, it bothers me. But anyways, um, Berea is the bomb. Hey Marsh, do you have one art style or experiment with various styles? I experiment with various styles. But I guess technically I have one because we've talked about this before a lot, but not that I won't talk about it more, but I kind of agree with some people who say like, you know, you almost can't even pick a style because you're gonna kind of draw how you're gonna draw type of thing. Um, so technically, I don't have more than one style, but I do go back and forth from like cartoony style to a more realistic style, I guess. And yeah, I guess when I'm drawing more from imagination, I stick to cartoony more often than not. Uh, so I don't know. I guess if that's what you mean, yeah, I kind of have more than one style, and I've also drawn in other like more established styles, uh, like the old Fleischer Studios, like animation style. I spent a decent amount of time uh, practicing and drawing in that style, and uh, and I really enjoy that style. And there's been other like art styles I've tried to emulate with good or not so good success, depending on the situation. Um, so yeah, I'm certainly open to playing with different styles, but I think whatever my style is something I almost can't even control. And I don't know what that is. So, yeah, I guess that's my answer for that. So, just kind of drawing in this face a little bit. Trying to get this character going. Who knows? Maybe he could become a glyph character, even though he started off as like me unsuccessfully trying to draw Snoop Dogg. But he certainly would fit in the world of glyph. And I do think I am gonna, even though like I'm trying not to think about the world building stuff so much, I do think that I'm going to he is going to be kind of in a fantastic world, like I've said in the past, like he's from Bap or well, the story takes place in like a fake city called like Bap City, and I think he's going to be from Boomtown, but he ventures into Bap City. So you take the boom, you put the boom and the bap together, hip hop, boom bap, original rap. Um, and yeah, and then this guy almost looks a little bit like Rakim in a tiny bit, but not really a lot of bit. Um, and so yeah, and it's gonna be kind of a sci-fi type of I guess environment, but it's gonna be hip hop. Like it's gonna be very hip hoppy, obviously. He's a graffiti artist, and yeah, I don't know, the things I'm developing with Glyph, I'm really enjoying, and it's gonna be pretty cool, and it's gonna be me trying to write what I know, like I've said recently a lot. So I'm deriving just from feelings and things that I understand, that I've lived through, I guess. We'll see how it all goes. So I got to try to stay somewhat simplified here. It's kind of funny to try to draw Snoop Dogg with a jacket, like a thick jacket on, because he's, from LA area. So, like, would he ever wear such a thick jacket? No, but hey, maybe that's what makes him not Snoop Dogg. And my own character, part of what makes him not Snoop Dogg. So, and I'll show it more up close. Coughing here. Just keep on coughing. Like I said, I'm pretty much done with my cold, but not really exactly. When I get on the live stream, it feels like I'm not done with it. Another thing that's hard to draw is like hands, but I'm gonna do my best. This one's actually coming out kind of okay, which is kind of nice. So often it doesn't come out kind of okay. ah, I guess the thing too is anything can be fixed now with the power of digital technologies. So looks like we're gonna have Chinese for dinner tonight. I just got notified of that. So that's cool. We were already talking about possibly having Chinese, so that's nice. Looking forward to that. I love Chinese. What do you guys get for Chinese? I always kind of get sort of the same thing for the most part, but I know this is like riveting, like comic book art talk here. But hey, who doesn't like talking about food? Um, Gotta draw the baggy jeans. I was thinking about like starting to draw some like newer hip hop styles and stuff, just because like I don't know anything about that world. I do not listen to like the newer hip hop. Not that it's bad necessarily, but um I don't know. It's hard for me to listen to it because growing up with the stuff I was into. But I know there's some good stuff out there. I mean, some people would say there's no such thing as good rap, but especially from our generation, my generation, not my generation, but like the adults from my generation who would say stuff like that sometimes. But I gotta remember always to like think about perspective as well as I'm drawing this character, because it does kind of seem like a bit of an upshot, but I don't think I'm good at drawing characters in perspective anyways, so it's like whatever. We'll do the best we can. Um, do 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 do. So yeah, I don't know. Glyph's gonna have some interesting stories. Um, there's gonna be like a wisdom type of character. Maybe this could be that guy. I don't know. I think he was. I wanted to like make him like almost analogous to a lion, because I feel like I think of like Aslan from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and stuff like that. And so I was thinking maybe he could be kind of have that vibe going. And obviously, it's pretty easy to derive that a little bit from you know Jamaican culture and stuff is heavily you know part of the influence of hip hop for sure. I mean, literally, that's almost where it comes from, actually. And so, if I can incorporate, I mean, Tusk is an elephant, so I could bring, make somebody a lion, and they talk about like the Lion of Judah and stuff. Obviously, they have a lot of biblical references with Jamaican stuff and Rastafarianism, which is not Christianity, but it's got they always have a lot of references that are kind of analogous to Christian faith as well. And so, there can be some wisdom type of character there somehow. I'm not saying he's going to be Jamaican or anything, just somebody who's kind of like almost like a father figure to Glyph type of figure. Um, so we'll see how that all kind of plays out. Um, so yeah, just kind of drawing this character. Let's see. He's got like this funky cane. Probably have some like beads and stuff. I don't know, like just make it like funky with like some cool decoration or something. I don't know. It'll probably be like a stick or something. Like I like those like walking sticks. Sometimes people like craft walking sticks and stuff. Be like, what's this dude coming living in the city but he walks around with this crazy walking stick. Where'd he get that? I don't know. And that could be a story too, like, oh, he got that from his grandpops, blah blah blah. Some situation. Like his grandfather died in this situation or something. Once again, trying to get into that story. And I got to remember to get my blacks in there, the like a little bit of extra shadow just to bring that contrast in. So you just kind of find ways to bring it in. And hopefully it looks relatively natural. That's the trick. And that's something I don't always understand with cartooning, how to do that. But I was told from Peter Simeti specifically, but I've heard it also from other cartoonists that like you want to get good blacks in there because it'll, like I said, the contrast, it's all about the contrast. But it's tough to know where to put it. I mean, obviously in shadow areas, but when you're doing cartoony, like how far do you want to go with that? I guess with the hip hop stuff, I have a lot of opportunity with the folds. I love drawing like these kind of baggy jeans and stuff too. I always have. I don't know if I'm always good at it, but I enjoy giving it a shot though. Now I'm starting to feel hungry now that I know I'm getting Chinese coming my way eventually. And of course, I like drawing kind of the big feet. Vaughn Bodie, another huge influence to hip hop, especially graffiti culture, is Vaughn Bodie, who was really, you know, it's kind of funny because his son Mark kind of took up the helm and draws just like him, and kind of took up his style and everything, which is interesting. Speaking about style, and he's done it pretty successfully. Like you almost can't tell the difference. And he's done like Ninja Turtle stuff, and he's done all kinds of stuff. And anyways, uh, I don't know what I was gonna say about that, but like, well, yeah, because he's gotten involved in like the graffiti culture, but his father was kind of around before graffiti culture like really became a thing. I mean, he was around in the South. I forget when he died. It might be, you know, right around when hip hop was kind of born, not too long after. But like, I don't think he was involved or had anything to do with graffiti culture outside of just being an artist that graffiti artists liked to emulate, and he's got like his comic Cheech Wizard and stuff, and um, he does a lot of like he did a like these erotic, cartoony comics and stuff too. I actually love how he draws women. He draws them like um, I mean, I haven't seen the erotic comics or anything, but like just how he draws women anyways. Like he always draws them more like um almost not realistic, but like he's not afraid to draw like with them with like some chubbiness and just like kind of more realistic in that sense, where it's like it's not just like these supermodel type situations. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm about there with this little iteration of the same drawing. I'll do the little outline thing because that's, I don't know why it kind of brings stuff together, but I think it's almost like a crutch to do that like thick outline sometimes, but I do it a lot because I kind of like it. It does go well with the graffiti aesthetic because they outline like everything with graffiti. But man, I'm so looking forward to telling this story and I mean, I'm really just developing it, but I just some of the ideas I have, like I finally feel like I have like the ability to write the story, whereas I've been having a hard time since I ever created it. And I've learned so much about writing, and I just feel like I want to use those tools and turn this into something that people really dig. Uh, and I just want to bring in all the emotion I can to it and all the like passion that I have for comics. And I still have yet to really publish a real comic. Like obviously I've published real comics like in anthologies and stuff, but as far as like an actual like issue of a comic type of thing, and I've been wanting to do that forever, since I was a kid, and this is going to be the time when I finally do it, and I'm excited. So we shall see how it all comes out. Hopefully it'll be awesome. I'm almost there. I'm going to check the chat in a sec. Just want to kind of get this outline. Again, this is meant to be a quick sketch, but like, it probably would take other people so much quicker, but I'm just a slow artist when it comes down to it. Maybe one day I'll be quicker. Not that it has to be quick, but do. And then let's see. The only last detail I want to make sure I get in is the ear because he kind of has no ear right now. And thankfully we got these cool gel pens, white gel pens that we can use for that. And I'm pretty happy actually with this this little iteration of, let's make sure we get it in the right spot. So his head is kind of here, and just want to get like, I can always go in and bring some more black into it to like make it look better once it dries. Or I can kind of do this, kind of make it dry almost. I don't know. I don't really love how it's turning out, so maybe I'll just get a little bit of edge in there, keep it very suggestive. We'll just leave it like that. It's just a little sketch. So here we go. This is what it looks like. I didn't really put this, there should be more shadow now that I'm kind of looking at it. Since his face is so much in shadow, there should definitely be more shadow on the rest of the figure. So I'm gonna maybe add that to it. Not that it has to be like this crazy finished drawing, but I'd like it to at least look relatively consistent. So let's check out the chat. Yeah, Yeah, I'm starting to get hungry. Hey, Marsh, do you have... Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Okay, cool. Yes, Dede, every state has its own taco recipe. Hard shells like Taco Bell don't exist here at all. They'll go broke. Yeah, I like the hard shells, but I like the soft too. I usually get the soft because they're more easy and more convenient. Fully loaded potato pizza. Ah, yeah, I've had potato pizza before. It's pretty good. It's not as good as I want it to be, but it's good. What up, sir? Baby cows is veal. Yeah, that's what I thought, and that's why I'm not sure that I want to have veal. Um, Also, what's an example of drawing exercises? That's a good question. I wonder if Nathan has. I mean, I've created a few. The 1 hour comic challenge is definitely a drawing challenge, but it's more focused on making comics, so it's not actually focused on making a good drawing. But um, there's so many different things. I mean, there's like if you look up drawing challenge on YouTube, you'll come up with a ton of stuff. Uh, but there's so many things. There's certain ones that are more geared towards like getting yourself to be better at art, and then there's ones that are more geared towards just having fun. And they won't necessarily improve your art. Uh, and so I would say like certain sketchbook challenges, like let's see, I'm trying to think, like draw a page of hands or something like that, or draw 100 hands, draw 100 of anything, whatever it is that you're struggling with, draw 100 of them. Um, let's see. I mean, that's a good one in and of itself. 100 versions of anything. That's one that I think Jake Parker has some really great. I mean, even the Inktober is technically that's a drawing challenge. Um, Trying to think. I came up with a couple like which was like for comics specifically, but like um drawing from actual uh like comic um pages, like taking a comic book and copying stuff. Obviously you don't call it your own like or anything, but for practice there's nothing wrong with that. Um and then taking like say like taking a scene in a comic book and drawing that, but then um, drawing like using it as like an underdrawing, and then take that same scene and but put your own characters in that scene. Like that's kind of one that you could do. I don't know if I'm really doing great shadows here, but I'm trying to bring in some more shadow since it was like that on the face. That's another drawing challenge in and of itself, like drawing drapery or stuff that's in shadow, drawing silhouettes and stuff. I don't know, there's like a million different things you can do when it comes to drawing challenges. I'm sure Peter knows a bunch of them too. He's done a bunch of drawing challenges. 30 characters in 30 days. I think I talked about that in the last episode. that was a challenge from a long time ago that people kind of forgot about. But before Inktober was ever a thing, drawing 30 characters in 30 days was a challenge that a lot of people participated in, and I know I did. I'm just kind of really going like a little bit too much probably here with this, but I'm not trying to be like super perfect. This is really meant to just be a sketch anyways, but I did want to try to get some of that shadow in there a little bit more. Yeah, that's matching the face a little bit more, so that's good. So, there's so many things you could do. I guess I'll let that be. I don't want to go too crazy ham for this, but here it looks with a little more shadow to it. So, yeah, fun little character. Let's see what else is in the chat. We got Rob Hodge. Love you, Marsh. I have a girlfriend now who loves God. Please pray that I don't mess this up. Hey, man. Let's see. Don't. This is my. I probably shouldn't give relationship advice. But my thoughts on that is be you and just be yourself. Do everything you can to be comfortable being you. Do not change or try to do whatever it is that the person wants. Obviously in relationships there is compromise for sure, but just be you. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you're you, then she'll have the chance to love you for who you are. If you're trying to be someone else to be good enough for her, or to, like you said, kind of not mess it up. And I get that. I totally 100% get that, because I feel the same way and have in relationships and stuff. But you know, you can't mess it up if you're just being you. But that doesn't guarantee that that person is going to want that. They may have their own issues, and that's why they don't want it, or they just might realize that they want something different. But I'm not saying that's going to happen. I want it all to work out, and I will pray that it works out, things go well. Sounds like you really like this girl, and that's awesome. And I wish the best for you, man, with it. But just don't forget to be you, and don't apologize for being you. And I mean, as long as you're not, as long as you're being a good person, obviously, but I'm assuming that you are, and you know, yeah, I'm sure you are, and so just don't sacrifice your own personality. That's the only thing. Um, you are worthy of being, somebody who is having a good relationship, you know, and just you being who you are is good enough, and it needs to be good enough, So, and I only say that because I've been in that trap myself, at times. So, that's all. But yeah, I wish the best for the relationship, and I'm glad you found somebody that you really like. And if they like you for a reason, and just be yourself, and that's, that's what you want somebody to like, So anyways, hopefully that makes sense and is helpful. Let's see. Rob, that's awesome. Praying for you to have wisdom. Stay in the word. Absolutely. Do, 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 do. You guys are talking to each other. I know. Sometimes that is the temptation, though, to be like, please don't mess this up, type of thing. But you can't mess it up, really. Like, if you're just being you. But people can decide that they don't want certain things, and that doesn't make who you are any. It doesn't invalidate your worth as a person. That's actually what Glyph is going to be about. To be honest, it's a lot of what Glyph is going to be about is because this is an important lesson that I've learned and am still learning, which is, I've placed my worth in what people think in my life. I've placed my worth in what what people want from me, and if I live up to what they want at times in my life. I don't know. I've placed my worth in a lot of different things sometimes that isn't actually what I should be placing my worth in. And as a Christian, we know that we place our worth in the person of Jesus Christ, and we are created in His image, and we have worthiness just in that. And everybody in the world does. Everybody in the world is created in God's image. That's not just for Christians, but we believe that, as Christians, those of us who are. And you have a very special reason to be here, and you may never know what that reason is. You don't have to know. God knows, though, and you should be unapologetically you and authentically you, and somebody who also follows God. And the best relationships are the ones where the two people are following God. And also they just love, I mean, there's a huge human just element, like just respect between two people. Like that person needs to respect you, you need to respect them, respect. And another thing that's really cool that I think is important in relationships, I've always thought this, is polite, keep staying polite, not like in a fake way, but still being polite to that person, because it's easy to take people for granted, and you don't want that to happen. Like, still keep up your manners, like please and thank you, opening and shutting doors for, as a guy, like it's a tradition, it's a nice gentlemanly thing to do things like opening up a door, and that's just the concept, that's just the idea. But it's more than that. It's just kind of putting the girl first in a lot of ways, but not with everything, but putting the girl first as far as like taking care, being someone who's going to take care of her. And I don't know, there's so many things to go into, I guess, with that. But I don't know, like I said, Glyph, there's a lot of things that is going to be in this Glyph story that has to do with like your worthiness, and your like, we all want love, we all want acceptance, and we all have been in life in situations where that has been lacking, we all want people to care, and people don't always care, unfortunately. And but whether somebody cares about you or loves you doesn't mean that you're unlovable, doesn't mean that, God doesn't accept you. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel accepted and worthy in your own skin as well. And we just all have a lot of worth and a lot to bring to the table. And some people squander that and become horrible people, unfortunately, which sucks, but I think the majority of us just want to have a nice life, and we're not like trying to be like that. um and we just all have value, and it's not based off of what other people think about us. It's not based off of anything but just the fact that we are made in God's image, and we are human, and we there's a lot, we all have a lot to offer, and I don't know. That's some of the stuff I'm going to be digging into. Like, your story, like Spider-Man, is about, you know this guy who has spider powers and he fights crime, but what it's really about, is something more than that. It's that, but it's something more than that, and it's really about taking responsibility for the power you do have. You know, it's about a lot of things, and that's for Glyph. It's going to be about a lot of things, but the real thing that it's really about is going to be, finding our worth and just being like, just knowing that we have value, as a human being. And yeah, I don't know. I'll get into it better in the book, hopefully. I don't know if I'm even explaining it very well, but that's what I feel. So, anyways, let's see. Cabrito is great. I used to get that in Texas. I don't think I've had that. Rob Hodge, please bring back Glyph. Hey, that's what this book right here is for. I'm working on it. That's my Glyph sketchbook. Well, it's a sketchbook where it's like the research and development for creating and building Glyph, as a story. Let's see. I need to go, you guys. Says Chris, more house chores to do here before going to bed. Yeah, I feel you. Have a great night, Chris. Rob Hodges. This Snoop Dogg character reminds me of avatars we had on the Mike War forum. Good stuff, bro. Hey, you're from back then, huh? That's awesome. The Mike War forum. We had some fun battles and music, hip hop. It was like a rap battle hip hop forum, that myself and many others were involved in back in the days. So yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there was some interesting avatars there. Let's see. General Tso's chicken is so good. Yeah, I usually get chicken and broccoli and or beef and broccoli. I like the chicken fingers and just dipping them in the sauce too, like the golden fingers or chicken fingers. They're called different things. I like a bunch of things, but those are like the main things. They're very basic, very boring, but tasty, and I like them. Oh, and I like wonton soup, but not every. I always the first whenever I go to a new place, I always try the wonton soup, and if it's not good, then I don't get it anymore from there. But it definitely varies from place to place. All of it really can vary a little bit, but I find that the wonton soup sometimes varies more than I'd like it to. Jordan Moore, gotta get the sweet and sour chicken with noodles. Oh, that's another thing. I like to get plain lo mein, actually. Chicken lo mein is good too, but they usually put a lot of stuff I don't always want, or pork lo mein is fine too. But a lot of times sometimes I'll just get plain lo mein, and that's good too. But it depends on like how they're cooking it that night and stuff. Sometimes the oil is like not, it's like overcooked or something, and it tastes gross. So, Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. Yes, totally. I feel like this guy is like a mix between Rakim and Snoop Dogg or something, in a funny way. Rob Hodge, don't do the new hip hop style characters. Well, I'm it's more like looking for design inspiration. Like I don't know what the designs of their kind of clothes are, but I just because I'm trying to make like a futuristic slash 90s hip hop type vibe at the same time. So um I don't know. I'll play around with stuff. And I also think it's kind of okay to like bring in some of the newer stuff a little bit. But it'll definitely be way more 90s than anything. That's my vibe. That's what I'm into, you know. Wait, did I miss? The guys would all be wearing skinny jeans and skirts. Yeah, I'll probably stay away from that. I like drawing baggy clothes, so General Tso's chicken, veggie fried rice, 2 spring rolls. Yeah, that's a typical one for sure that people get. Let's see. The other comic guy. Don't want to go, but I have a lot to get done. Get well, Marsh. Good night, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, man. Um, hot women. Yes, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan. Let's see. I'm back. What did I miss? You missed everything. I don't know, Dan. I'm not sure. I like hard shells for the crunch. They can be messy though. Yeah, they're kind of a pain in the butt, but I do like them. They are tasty, and the crunch is nice. Drawing exercises. Draw a blob, then turn it into something. Yep, I've done that one. That's a good one. Draw a geometric shape from multiple angles, all from your imagination. That's a good one too. Draw cylinders from many angles. There's many more. Okay, interesting. There's also other like very typical ones that are this will just get the pen moving and stuff. Um, but or the pencil or whatever. It's just trying to like draw straight lines. So you just draw like a bunch of points, you know, from here to here or whatever, like where however long you want to do it. And I'm like kind of doing it too fast right now, but and then you just try to draw a straight line and you more look at the opposite one you want to draw too. And so right there I didn't do it very well. And you just do that for like a page. I'm not doing it very well right now, but the more you do, the better you get. It's just good to get your arm in the practice of that. And then there's the one where you try to draw like a perfect circle, or you just try to draw cylinders, like kind of like Nathan was saying, like draw like good cylinders. Try to draw good cylinders, and then like he said, like from different angles, and you go from like the. I'm not good at it, but you try to draw like and the more you practice you can actually get pretty good at doing it freehand, and it's really good practice because you'd be surprised how much you have to draw like cylinders in perspective, you know, in like a comic book page or something, you know. So yeah, I don't know, shapes, just drawing shapes in general. It's a good one, Nathan. Let's see. I was brought me up on thinking what other people think philosophy, unfortunately. Okay. All right. So it's been about 2 hours. I'm tired. I'm hungry. We're probably going to eat pretty soon. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, watching me draw bad drawings of Snoop Dogg and all that. And I'm going to have to call my mother. I think she's probably gone to bed by now, but I'll call her tomorrow morning or tomorrow during the day. uh, but yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great night. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and that always helps the show. And sign up to the newsletter, and there's a link in the description for all my stuff. Then there's also the moderators, Nathan and Dede, who were here today. Their links are in the description as well. So thank you guys for being here as well. And yeah, I'm going to let that be it for the night. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll talk to you on the next episode next Tuesday. All righty.